Hi, hello everyone. Thank you for coming back to join me today. I've had a bit of a silly moment, and I've just done a video, and I didn't realise that that when I put my phone in the camera holder, I must have touched it. So I've actually recorded the ceiling of my room, and not what I wanted to. So I'm starting again. Okay. So thank you for joining me. I wanted to do an in-between project. And as you do, you watch different people on YouTube, don't you? And I've been watching Sam Paul, and I also follow Wendy's Journal Adventures. And they both made journals or little booklets out of, I think Sam used a file folder and Wendy used envelopes. And I thought, well, that's kind of good for a quick in-between project. So I made one in the style, I think, that Wendy made, and that's this one. So it's an envelope that's been covered, and then it's got so it opens that way, so a journal would go in there. And then it flips over to the other way, and you'd put another journal in there. So I thought, that's what I'm going to do. And I wanted to make a second one, and I thought I would make that with you. I've already kind of made one, but I stopped because I realised I was recording my ceiling. So I'm just going to start afresh. So I've got all sorts of Amy from Crafty Cats papers. I've got my very favourite papers from her. The, oh gosh, it's either Blue Winter, Winter Wonderland or something else it's called. But I just love the images on them. So I'm going to use some of those papers in the journal. I've got her Blue Winter all-in-one kit that I've used these papers from, and I'm going to use them again for the second one. And this is her most recent kit with the blue and the cream flowers. I can never remember the names of the kits, but I will list them below when I upload this video. So I'm going to use some of those as well. And then these are from the blue winter kit, all-in-one kit. So that's what I'm going to do. And I just thought I would turn the video on and record my ceiling while I do it. These things happen, don't they? They do happen. They do to me anyway. I don't know what that's doing in there. So let's start. So we start off with 2 envelopes. These, I don't know, these are my envelopes that I get here in the UK. And that measures about 9 1/4 by maybe 4.5. So I don't know how they compare with the size of envelopes in USA. I can never remember. I think all of our sizings are slightly different, aren't they? I'm going to cut them down because I don't want them to be that tall. So I'm just going to cut them down on both sides. I think the one to make the pages fit, I think I needed it about, did I go 7.5 tall? In my head, I knew how tall I'd gone. Oh, tall, Carol, not wide. 7.5. Yeah. So I'm going to measure this one and do the same, and then they'll both turn out completely differently, won't they? They will. So just cutting both of those envelopes equally. And then this one that'll go on the front is going to be the envelope with the flap. And I'm just going to take a little bit off that, because that to me is a little bit too high to be a tuck spot. If you can see, that's where the crease is, and that's where I've done the pocket. So I've left a bigger gap. So in the interests of trying to get these similar, I am just going to take a little bit off of there. Not a lot. It doesn't need a lot taking off it. So that's going to be, this has got sticky on it, so I don't want to close it all the way. So that's going to be my envelope. And then the way that Wendy did hers was the other envelope. That's the flap there. That goes in like that. So that will glue on there. A little bit of glue on that. I think I mentioned to you all that we were decorating our bedroom before Christmas. Change of plan. It's not happening. I can't find, I wanted wallpaper on one wall, can't find any I like, and it's just got too stressful. So that we're not doing it. Change of plans. So anyway, back to my envelope. So I've just stuck that envelope on the back there. So that's going to close, compare it to the other one. That's that one there, that's going to close like that. And this envelope that I've just fitted on the back gets folded backwards, so that when you open it, it turns. So it's kind of, Wendy said it's kind of like a flip-flop journal, only it doesn't flip and flap. It's just got the two signatures. So it's just a flip around, a little bit like an accordion. I mean, you could keep going with them, couldn't you? And have another one coming this way and that way, and just keep doing them. But I'm not going to get carried away. So that's where I've got it. So that's where we are. So that is this. I hope you can see that. So that goes on there like that. So two envelopes joined together. Okay, and then the second one you just fold backwards. Now my envelope, I don't know if you can see, but it is slightly short. It doesn't quite make it to the end. And so I know that's why that was there. Look, I'm going to add a little bit on, because I do want mine to, the back one to fit. I want it to fit all the way is what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying it very well. So I'm just going to stick that piece, or a piece of that, on there. And then I'm going to cut it. You're not going to see this because it's going to get covered. So I'm going to cut it off so that it fits. And then they're equal. It's just that, this is the, get my words out in a minute. And I've got trouble with my glue drying up. And I'll just cut that top bit off. So that would be the flap that closed, that the envelope sealed on. So it is a little bit shorter. So all I've done is extend it so that it's the same length, as the same width as the front one. Your envelopes might be different and you might not need to do that bit, but I did. So I've just added a little strip of paper. I don't think Wendy did, so her envelopes must be different to mine. Oh, it sealed itself, look. One of them sealed themselves. It's this one, isn't it? So is it that one? It's that one. Not that bit there. Ignore that. There. So this is my envelope part, and that is the back part. So I'm going to fold it like that. So what I want to do first is I want to cover the inside of my envelope. So that's what I'm going to do. I think that this paper is actually from one of the Reason for the Seasons, is where I think that's from. But I'm going to add that on there. It is a little bit wider, but that's okay because I want to turn it over and have neat edges. I can't remember. I think that's what Wendy did as well. But you don't have to. You can cut it equally at the top. You know, we've said it before, haven't we? No rules. There's no rules on this at all. So I'm going to put my glue to the edges. These weren't I wasn't very happy with these envelopes, only because they've got little, I don't like the self-seal bit because it's permanently self-seal, if you know what I mean. It hasn't got the paper that you take off it. The last one that I did, or the first one that I did, I used glue stick. And I don't mind using glue stick, but for this bit, it seemed to warp the pocket a little bit. I've had it under a book, so it's not so bad now. I'm going to put that on there. And I want it a little bit even, Stephen, so that I've got enough to tuck over both sides. There we go. So that is going to be the pocket there. I don't know if you can see, because my envelope's white. I don't know if you can see or not, but that is where it will fold back over the envelope flap. I'm just going to fold that so I can see where, yeah, that's good enough. Okay, and then I'm going to stick it on here, and then I'm going to go back the other way. I like to have things neat and tidy. If you follow me, you'll know that I am a bit of a neat and tidy buff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little cut here and here, and I'm going to fold those papers over just to make that little edge nice and neat, like that. Okay, so I'm just going to fold those over. At the top and at the bottom. And it just makes it nice and a nice neat edge. You don't have to, as I said, you can cut it off, and you could stitch round it, you know. You'll find your own way to do it that you're most comfortable with. You can guarantee that. And then that will get folded over there, but obviously it's too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line. I hope I'm in screen. So that I can cut off that excess. There's lots of twisting round when you're doing these envelopes, and sometimes I think it gets a little bit confusing, but you'll soon see where I'm at. All I'm doing is covering that front envelope. That's all that I'm doing. And then because I've cut that, that will fit on there. Needs a little bit more. Of course, I've got uneven envelopes, haven't I? As you do. That is just a little bit too big still. Not by a lot. But I don't want it overhanging. I don't want that overhang. So I'm just going to make sure it doesn't overhang. Okay. So this is my pocket and this is the flap. I can see where that crease kind of is. There, look. I just need my scoreboard, one moment. I just like to put my scores in. You don't have to, but I just want to remind myself where that little bit is that I'm going to be turning. And then that's where my flap. So that bit there is the flap that's going to go on the front of the envelope. Down there. And then that will come back over. And that'll be the flap, so that hopefully you can see that now. That's going to be the flap. Okay, I'm going to leave that as is for now, because I want to, before I move that out of the way, before I put this paper over, I want to close this envelope. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this in there to strengthen it, and then use it for my for the flaps, and then I'm going to put some paper on the front. So all I'm doing on this bit, I'm probably totally confusing everybody, but all that I'm doing here is adding a lining to the inside of that pocket, and actually I would rather it was coffee dyed paper, thinking of it. Let me just grab a piece. That piece will do nicely. So all that I'm doing is adding on there, avoiding the crease, glue that on, and then I'm going to cut the excess off, but I'm going to leave that little edge at the sides because that's where they're going to be my gussets for my pocket. So I'm going to close that, or I'm going to cut that off across there. So these, I always fold them the wrong way before I fold them the right way. I don't know why, it kind of gives it a memory, I feel. So that's going to go like that. And then I've got my 2 gussets either side that are going to close this pocket. If I could fold straight, honestly. So they're the gussets that are going to close that pocket, and then it's going to have the flap. Okay, so now I want to cover my flap. I think I want this for my flap. It's such pretty paper. Isn't it gorgeous? And I think that will look nice against this. So that's what I'm going to use to cover the flap. Has it got an up and a down? I don't think it has. So I'm going to glue that on there, and I'm going to leave enough here to fold over. Okay. So I think that I'm going to put glue on this part. That's where the fold is going to be. Glue across the top of my pocket, and the sides, glue in the middle. Not that the paper's going anywhere. Once it's on, isn't it? And then I can carry on gluing it past that bit once I've got this bit sorted out. So I want to put that. Again, I want enough to fold over. Glue that on. And then I'm actually going to glue it all the way. I'm just going to keep going with this paper all the way to the end. That's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to do it kind of in stages. Shove more glue under there if it's not stuck. Get it in. Glue it across. I could cut this and add different papers, but I'm just going to go with however far my piece of A4 paper will fit is how far I'm going to go. Just going to turn it round to make it easier for me to glue. And it does go past this crease. So again, I've got another crease there. Concentrating while I'm just gluing, folks. Put as much glue on it as I can. I don't want it to come unstuck. And then we should be able to see better the... Oh, I didn't need to go all that way, did I? Silly me. Gone. It's gone. There we go. So that is nice and glued. And this glue in this bottle dries quickly. Okay, so let's see where we are. So this is my pocket that's going to fold up like that. So I want to fold this over to make it a nice, neat edge. So I think the trick to doing these is just remembering which bit's your pocket and which bit's your flaps of your journal. Okay, so I'm just going to glue that over, and then we'll see, open those flaps. So those flaps that I've just opened are the gussets to close that pocket. That folds over like that. I'm just going to cut that at an angle and that one at an angle. And I can close that pocket now. So that folds along there. I think this is where I went a bit wonky on my other one. So I'm just going to fold it there. That's my pocket. Okay. So that's not going to open. That is the pocket. I'm going to put a little snip there. And a little snip there. Just going to open that out whilst I close it, because this is going to close to this part, isn't it? So I just wanted to move this other bit out the way. Okay, so that's going to close up my pocket. So I'm going to put glue on these gussets that I've put in to close that pocket. I don't know if I'm on screen or not. I think I am. So that's that pocket closed. And then these bits I'm going to fold over there, because they will get covered when we put the other papers on. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So I'm just neatening the edges, just folding them over. And then the same on this side. And then we've got the pocket. We haven't got the flap of the pocket, but we've got the pocket. And then these bits that I've got sticking out here, I am going to fold over here so that that neatens that bit as well. Okay. I'm just looking, I've got that sticking slightly proud, ever so slightly. There we go. I think it's always useful to put the crease in before you glue it. Whoops, come here. If you didn't want a pocket on the front, you don't have to put a pocket on the front. You could add an extra envelope, a smaller one that would flip out. Fold that over. These papers are gorgeous, Amy. I do love blue and cream, or the beige together. There we go. There we go. That can now glue on there. And don't forget, we've got that fold. I've creased it already so I can still see it, so I can remind myself where it is. So I'm going to now glue this bit on. So I'm going to put glue at the top on both. I'm going to put glue where that fold is. Across the bottom. Down this edge. Across the bottom. The only thing with this glue is the same as art glitter glue. It does dry quite quickly, so you can't mess about too much getting your glue on. I can't remember how far that goes. It goes to just past that crease, so I want to put glue aplenty on there, don't I? Glue that on. Get it down nice and glued. Okay, so that is the flap of the envelope that's going to go over there. I don't want to fold it just yet. I just want to give that chance, this piece, just to dry. Like I say, it doesn't take long. That should be glued on there nicely, because I put the glue all the way to the edge, didn't I? Yep, we've got that. And then I need to add a piece that's on here and going round the back. So this is the right way up, so turn it like that. Now, do I want another beige piece? Or do I want a nice blue piece? I think I like this blue. That might not go all the way, so I might have to add something else. Let's have a look. Will it go all the way? No, it will go all the way. So I want to put some glue on here. I don't want it to overlap it by too much. So that's 3 pieces of A4 it's taken me to cover. And if it doesn't quite reach the other side, well, I'll just add an extra piece of paper. No big deal, is it? So that's going to go on there. And again, I want to be able to overlap it. So again, I'm just going to put a little cut here. Little V nick just there. Hopefully I'm still in screen. A little nick there. Fold these edges over. Before we flap that piece over, and again I'll take some of these edges off as well. I just think it makes it a much neater edge. I'm going to use my scoreboard just to put that score in at the end of that page, only because in this light I really can't see very well where it is. So I'm going to just, where is it? It's there. There. Just so that I can see where I'm trying to score. Make my life a little bit easier, eh? So that will fold back, and it does, look, it meets, it goes across, so there's no worries there. It meets all the way. So these white bits I'm going to cut off because I've already folded the paper over on the other side to neaten the edges. Try and move things out the way a little bit. So I'm going to cut that off there. And I'm going to cut the same off this side as well. I hope this has made sense to you all. So that will now fold over there. And it doesn't overlap. I've got no white bits showing on there. So that will now glue on there. Ta-da! So there's a fold just here. There's a fold just there. And there's that fold that's the flap just there. Okay. I'm just looking where the folds are, because that's where I want to make sure there's going to be a signature sewn in there on one side or the other, isn't there? Glue all the way across the top, all the way down here, all the way across the top there. Glue doesn't want to come out. I think as long as it's glued down where you're folding it, you're not going to have a lot of trouble, is my thoughts. I know it overlaps along there. That's that other fold. And I'm going to glue along the edge there. So that folds over like that. Fold it down nice and tight. So I can now put the crease in the front, that's going to be the pocket, and that will fold along there. Dare I do it now? And then that one will fold back along there. Probably should have waited. That's not too bad actually. So there you can see we've got an envelope there. That will have a closure on it. That will open and there'll be a signature in just there. And I can see that I need a little bit of glue in this bit here. Does that need a little bit of glue at the top there as well? It does. Can't see if I'm putting any glues coming out. So it's going to have a signature just there. That's the back. It's going to open up and there'll be another signature in there. So the envelopes, they don't meet perfectly, but that's fine. I don't mind that. It's going to have papers in, and I could put lace down there if I wanted to, but that is my two. And they are roughly the same size. Yes, they are. So they're my two. I just want to do some quick decoration. I will come back and decorate these more. And I might have the papers ready by then. But I was thinking what I wanted to do with this. And I printed out some of Amy's winter blues. That's going to be too green, isn't it? Well, I was kind of thinking that I liked her with that. But then it's not quite the right blue, is it? It's more of a green than a turquoise, but I liked it on that. Okay, so my other thought that I had was that I had some thinner craft stock, and I think I might use that. So I want that to be a pocket to go on the back of this one. So that's the envelope, that's the front. Journal pages in there, turn it over, and so this would be the front of the second journal. So I thought it would be nice to have a lady in there in a pocket. So I think I want it to be a gusseted pocket, but I don't want very big gussets on it, so I only want like 1/4 of an inch. Did I go through that paper then? No. I thought I pressed extra hard then. I did go through it. I was too hard on it. Doesn't matter, I'm going to cut that bit off. And then at least I've started to decorate them. Okay, try again, Carol. So what I want to do is I want to put a gusset in here. Not pressing as hard this time. It could be this kind of paper, this card. I have had it a long time. Okay. And then if I have her on there, I just wanted a little bit of that showing round the edge. Do it there. Okay, let's way up. Everything's going to slide off my desk, folks. If I cut that off. There might be enough of that to use to do something similar on the other one as well. Because there is a gentleman, I think. Yes, we have a very smooth looking gentleman that I might put on the back of that one. I think that would look nice. So she will go on the back there. Will that fit? And that pocket does fit on there. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I am going to fold it over at the top. I don't think it really needs it because it is, oh, it's only a thin cardstock, isn't it? So I'm going to fold it over at the top. Cut my little notches. I'm going to glue that down. And of course I'll have to make a tag or something to go in here, won't I? I don't know where she comes to. I think I'm going to fold it over actually at that white line. I think that will make the pocket the right size then. A bit inside of it, look. There. What a calamity. There's a little tear in that, but it doesn't matter because it's going to be stitched. It's going to be stuck on. Okay, so that's going to go on there like that. Put a little notch in the top there, sort of in the middle. And then the lady, just looking for my glue book, I'm going to stick her on there. Glue book and glue. Hopefully you're still with me. Oopsie. I want her to go on there. Relatively straight would be nice. And it is. There we go. Lovely image, Amy. Really nice. Okay. So that is going to be a pocket. Sorry, folks. That is going to be the pocket on there. So that will be kind of the fold bit for the journal that goes in there. So that'll be kind of front B. And then here, that way, isn't it? Because the flap opens like that. Remember that, Carol. So that's going to go on there like that. There's going to be a journal in there. We're going to go round. We've got an envelope there with we can keep things in, and we've got that there. So I'm going to leave it there for now. So that's two that I've got. I will be back and I will do more of this with you. I'll link Wendy's video below so that you can have a look at how Wendy put hers together. I think I've done it pretty much the same. So thank you, Wendy, for the inspiration for this. But they are my two, and I will be back with you shortly. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.